Hi everyone and welcome. I'm Diane and my passion is painting and creating nature-inspired watercolours in my studio, which are easy for you to do too. I share all my paintings with you on YouTube, and on our website dianeantone.com you can find free downloadable sketches for all the videos to help you make the most of your painting journey. And if you'd like a little bit more, we also have channel memberships with loads of perks for you to enjoy. So welcome on board. Click subscribe and turn on notifications, and let's learn to paint watercolour. Hi everyone, Diane here. Welcome to my studio. Today we are going to have a play, and I'm going to show you a way of just enjoying yourself with colour, basically, is what we're going to do today. Why else would we have these wonderful boxes of colours if we weren't going to just enjoy them? It's like a box of chocolates. Time to explore. This is a set of St. Petersburg White Night paints, which I inherited from somewhere. Thank you, Zen, for the sound effects. And anyway, these colours are lovely and bright and transparent and intense. And in this case, they were free, let alone cheap. So what we're going to do today is something a bit like this, and we're going to practice doing these kinds of backgrounds, and it's going to be fun and easy. And so that's the paints I'm going to use. I've got my water there, move that out of the way. We've got lots of nice colours here. I'll just turn it around the other way so that you can probably read what it says on the top line here. We've got Madder Lake, which is a nice pinky red. Then we've got Carmine, which is like alizarin crimson. Scarlet, which is obvious. And then there's some browns there, which we're going to ignore. We're going to go from the reds to cadmium orange, golden ochre. Then we'll ignore these two because they're browns. Cadmium yellow, cadmium lemon. And then on the next row, the ones that we're going to be wanting to use are green, yellow green, emerald green, Russian blue, cobalt blue, ultramarine, and red violet. All of those, the blues and the greens are nice and clean. These are all browns. So we're not interested in the browns and the blacks. We're only interested in the nice clean colours. You will probably have a tin of paints a bit like this. They come like this. These are full pans. That's what they call full pans. It's a quite a big kind of plastic container there full of paint. Quite a lot of people are working always with half pans like this. These are half pans, these are full pans. There is a difference. This is twice as small as this. This is the Gallo set, which is nice too, but I thought I'd give this one a run for its money today, just for a change. I noticed somebody on the Learn to Paint Watercolour Facebook group yesterday had asked a question, and I gritted my teeth and, I resisted the temptation to answer this question, because Tamsin told me not to answer this question, so I resisted it. This person said, I have only got, this is what I've got. Well, they hadn't got this one. They'd got one like that, but with smaller pans even than this, and more different colours, and they were all in one big tin. And this person said, yes, but how do I use them with a mop brush? This is a mop brush. Look at the size of it compared to my hand. What on earth are you going to do with that and that? Now, somebody said, well, what you do is you pick up the colour from the tin and you put it on your palette, mixing palette, and then you pick it up with the mop brush. This is unmitigated nonsense, because this brush will hold half a teacup full of water. And to pick up colour from here and put it on your mixing palette with your brush, I mean, life's too short, guys. If you're going to paint with this, then you use tubes of paint. You use tubes of paint, you squeeze the tube out onto your mixing palette, and you go for it like that. I've shown you how to do that several times. There's quite a few videos. Early on, I was doing a lot of that more than a year ago to show people how I actually paint when I'm painting for myself. So if you want to find out about that, drop a message in the description below and I'll link you to some of the videos where I'm demonstrating using the mop brush. But don't waste your time trying to transfer paint from tiny, weeny, itsy bitsy little pans into a mop brush. It's just, life is definitely too short for that. And it would be inhibiting. It's ridiculous. But what I'm going to do now is something completely different. This is the last sheet in my pad of Baohong watercolor paper, which I have a kind of mixed relationship with. It's not too bad, but I'm not going to run around buying more of it. But anyway, so what we're going to do is we are going to travel along the colours here, and imagine that we were going to, let's say we were going to make 2 bookmarks, let's say, for example. But this is just fun and relaxing. So we pick up a bit of water and we go in the first one, and we're just going to very sketchily drop in some paint, and then we go, don't even bother to rinse your brush out, go to the next one. And then you will want to clean your brush, then go to the next one. And then skip these because they're brown, go to the orange. And if you use this really thick, you will get very bright colours. But if you use quite a lot of water, you'll get lighter colours. So that's the way watercolour works. That's why it's called watercolour. So just go all the way along here. Now we go up to the green, and we're letting it mix and mingle. And when the yellow and the green get together, that's always interesting. Look at that. Look at that. That was Russian blue. Now we're at cobalt blue. And let that do its thing. Then we're going to have some ultramarine. Look at all the differences in those colours. And then finally, red violet, as they call it, at the end. And then we're going to let that dry. And now we'll do another one underneath. We could probably fit 3 in, but I'm going to make a bigger one. Just a bit bigger. And then after we've done this, we will add to it some line work. You can come along the top here and let that run upwards a little bit if you want. Similarly along the bottom, and let it flow. And that will spread it out a bit more. Did I get as far as the lemon? I think I did. So it's green now. I think that's a splendid colour, that one. And they just go so well with the yellow. That's just actually a very exciting mix. And then those are the best 3 colours of that type that I've come across anywhere. That's cobalt, and this is ultramarine. And then we'll put some red violet at the end. And I'll just go along here and let that blend like that. And we'll come along the top as well. I didn't do that on that one on purpose. I just didn't want to do it on both. So we've got 2 different effects there. We've got this beautiful rainbow, and then this one is a little bit more diffuse because I've let the edge. You see what I'm doing? This is just clean water on my brush, and I'm just going along and letting the water flow out. And that gives it a little bit more breathing space. So the whole thing will be more, what's the word? Open, a little bit paler. But I'm not going to add any more water to it. I could, if I put water in there, I'd get lots of backgrounds and blooms, and you'd get a more interesting effect. Perhaps you'd get more of this. But you don't necessarily want that. In fact, I can probably correct that a little bit, but you need to be really careful when you try to correct any backgrounds, because chances are you'll make it worse. But this doesn't matter because we're going to draw over the top of this anyway. So now what I have to do is let that dry, and it needs to sit for a bit because these colours are going to carry on moving. If you put a camera on that and did a time-lapse film, you'd see the colours moving. Must do that sometime. So anyway, that can go over there on the table. And then put the paints out the way. They're good, aren't they? They're really lovely, bright colours and perfect for this kind of playtime. Okay, so now I'm going to grab my 0.5mm nib pen, and we're going to do some flowers on this one, which I prepared earlier. It's not quite the same as that one, but it's done in exactly the same way. Obviously, there's going to be a slight difference. And there's a lot of things that you could do with this, but the first thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to cut it in half. Actually, I'll use a knife, which means I'm going to have to grab a knife over here. Right, let's cut that into half. Come on. Come on, we lost a chicken last night. One of our hens died. Hope it wasn't the heat, but you know, these things happen. We're down to 6 now. Most of our hens don't lay anymore, we just keep them as pets. That one was one of the original hybrids that we rescued from a chicken farm here. It must be 5 years ago now, so she was really knocking on. Okie dokie. So, I don't know whether I ought to practice this on a spare piece of paper first before we go ahead, or whether I can just do it. But what I wanted to do on here was I wanted to do some roses. So I'm going to do the traditional, I don't know what you call it, the C shape rose. So start with a little round thing like that, and then just go like that. I don't know how to describe it. And then start building up petals. So you go round like that, and then from one to the other, across the join, okay? So you're going across the join always, so like that. And that's all you have to do. And then as you get to the outside, you can make them a bit bigger, like that. And this is really quite an addictive sort of process. And then you just put a straight line as far down the paper as you want. And then you can do leaves. Now, on this one, I tried out doing leaves, which are actually like rose leaves, which are a bit serrated. And then I thought, you know what, I'm going to go against nature, because I don't think that does the rose any favours. I think if the rose was going to be redesigned, it should be redesigned with different shaped leaves, because rose leaves aren't the best. So then we could put a bud in here. And before anyone says, well, this isn't very original, plenty of people have done plenty of this. I haven't. So I am just enjoying myself doing something that I haven't done before. And I thought you might like to do it with me. And, you know, it's fun. So we'll do another one here. So a little sort of dot, and then 1, 2, 3, like that. Looks like an eye. And then just go round, and then like that, and like that. And you have a sort of rose. And then you come down with the stem. And you can do the little sepals here. And we can put another one here. So little dot and then 1, 2, 3. That's the way I've been doing it anyway. And then one round like that. Round like that. You see the way the pattern works? You're always breaking the, going across the join, if you see what I mean. And now we'll put some more leaves in, coming up here. And you can shade the leaves like this. If you want, you do the whole leaf. You could do lots of little leaves on some of the stems. You could do them on just one side if you wanted to, like that. Another one here. And then, you know, this is the kind of thing that you can just do whatever you want. You could come in with your white pen if you want, and you could do some of these leaves in white, so they show up better. Do another one down here. And we could have another bud type of thing up here. And you can make it as simple and or as complicated as you want. Could colour in some of these sepals. Could put white lines on the leaves as well as the black ones, if you wanted to. Colour in some of these leaves if you like this. And you just do whatever you fancy, really. You know, you could say, oh, it should be, keep it simple. Keep it simple, stupid. Who said that? But you don't have to keep it simple. You do what you like. You never know what's going to turn out, really. And you might say after you finish, oh my God, that's awful. Well, tell you what, you've learnt something. I have anyway, because I didn't know how to draw those roses until today. So you put that to one side and you take another one of your prepared, I prepared this one earlier, pieces of rainbow, and you have another go. And then one of the funny things about painting is quite often when you come back after lunch or the next day and you look at what you've done the day before and when you thought, oh my God, that was awful, you look at it again and you go, oh, actually, now that's dry, it doesn't look half so bad. Anyway, who cares? It's not as if we're trying to save the world with our art, is it? Maybe we are. This one that we did earlier together, this one's starting to dry, but it's not dry yet. And you could imagine that you might put your flowers going across rather than that way, couldn't you? Okay, well, we're going to do this one next, but I'm going to set that there and come back to that in a second. Okay, so you can see I've just carried on embellishing this one with white pen and black pen, and I've also been using some of these felt tips from Poetique to add a few leaves and a few more dots and dashes and things like that. So I've made this one quite complicated, and I think we're probably finished with that one now. I did put some colour behind those lines to just give it a bit more interest. And then now I'm going to pluck up courage and move on to this one, which is the original. I've been practicing. What I have been doing recently is trying things out on a photocopy. So I've been making photocopies of these things and then trying things out to see what I like about the different options, different ways of doing it. So yes, so this one I thought, I'm going to sit down, excuse my hair, and yeah, let's find the black pen again. And I'm just going to go for it. I've just had my lunch, so we should be able to cope with this now. I just need some cello tape or some tape of some sort to, what have I done with it? Just a sec. Just something to try and hold this down a little bit. This particular washi tape, I don't know whether it's because of the weather, what it is, but it's not sticking very well. I think it'll be okay though. Okay, so what we could do here is several things we could do here. I don't know. I'm going to wing it. I'm going to do roses because I've been practicing these roses. So we just draw a little dot, a circle, and another circle, keeping the dot sort of asymmetrical. And then you come round like that, and round like that, and then all the way around like that, and you've got a sort of rosebud. And then from, say, just off the middle of one of these petals, go round past the join to the next one, and then go back a bit, come round like that, and like that. And then my feeling was that it would be quite nice to just add some felt tip using these brush pens to give a little bit of colour. And then take the stem down. I know real roses don't have straight stems like that. Neither do they have leaves like this. But whatever. So we would do that. And then the next one along could be, let me see, maybe one of these sort of, I don't know whether these are meant to be seed heads or what, but they're quite fun. Sort of a little bit, what's the word? Graphic. That's the word. It's the word of the week. And then we'll just do that there. And then take that line down to there. And we'll give that one perhaps some pointed leaves. And, oops, that doesn't fit on there. Then a little bit of colour maybe. Do that with watercolour just as easily. It doesn't need to be the brush pens. This looks like this wants to be a place for a flower, doesn't it? So doing the same kind of thing. There we are, another rose. I'll give it some leaves. Like that. That one's quite bright, so it doesn't really need any more colour on it, I don't think. Let's see, what should we do next? Maybe a taller one, put the stem in first, and then perhaps we'll just do some nice big thingies like that. Something like that. And then we can put, let's see, what colour should we put in there? Let's keep the colour sort of similar. We'll put some orange in there. And we could, at this point, then grab the, if we could find it, and the white, but the white will do. If I can't find the gold, we'll put the white and we can put some nice dots in. I want my gold pen. Where's my gold pen gone? There we are. Okay, yes, I wanted to make these gold, so we just go over the black. These things are actually quite good because they do seem to go over the black pen, which is quite something. Okay, and then the next one. Ooh, what shall we do for the next one? I did some practice ones earlier. I'm just looking, see if I can find it. There was a particular shape. Oh yeah. This is a very nice round shape there. Not quite sure what to put there. Perhaps I'll pop down the other end here and do another rose like that and save that one till later. And perhaps I'll do one of these but with white. And if you've left gaps in your paint on the undercoat, you can use them as part of the design. So that can be the base there. And then you could have two leaves, one there, and make them white. There's a white leaf as well. And the white shows up nice. You can have a white stem. I think it's time we did a rose here in white. There we are. And maybe, I don't know whether one would work if I did it in gold here. Maybe. But this one needs to be white, so I'm going to go over that again. Like I said, it doesn't matter. I'm surprised at that, actually. But it doesn't really matter. And then I think we'll do another one a bit like that. So we'll have a nice big leaf petal like that. Make it overlap that one. And then shall we put some orange in the middle of that one too? And we can put some dots as well on the green where the colour is quite bright or relatively dark. Looks quite pretty. And I think we might have room for one more flower there. So I suppose that should probably be a rose of some sort. There we are. Make some of these leaves gold, like those ones over there. This one can have a gold centre line. And really all this is all about just variety, just making something up as you go along. And I've noticed just recently a lot of people on the Facebook group saying things like, oh, this is from my imagination. And then they sit down and they try to do a portrait of somebody. Oh, this is just from my imagination. And then they try to draw an accurate picture of a koi carp. If you want to do something from your imagination, do something imaginary. You know, do something like this, made up, a fantasy thing. Don't try and draw a koi carp. Draw a fish, but it doesn't have to look like a koi carp. Draw a portrait, but make it a folk art portrait, so it looks like folk art. That's much more fun. You'd enjoy it a lot more. Be less likely to end up saying, oh, I just like my stuff to be perfect. I'm a perfectionist. Because you'll never be happy if you try to reach for perfection. You'll never, as you all very well know, I know I'm talking to the converted here. Just enjoy what you do. I think this needs a bit more white over this side, so I think my pen is going on strike. I think I'll probably leave it here and you can take over now from me and have a go for yourself. So rainbow background. Practicing wet in wet, not white in white, wet in wet. And then flower outlines, learning how to do rose outlines. Quite interesting. I've enjoyed it. I hope you do. That shouldn't be there, should it? That white bit. We need to colour that up and do that. Right then. I'm going to call it a day. Have fun with that one. Like and subscribe if you feel like it. And I'll see you here tomorrow. Bye, everyone. Bye-bye.